to the finals, the fifth grade finals of the national history. Congratulations on making it. I'm Kelly, your scorekeeper. Melissa, your other scorekeeper. All right, and then we got live stream over there.
I'm Aaron. I'll be the live stream moderator.
So just changed from the semifinal round you just played. Besides that, now you go out at 40 points instead of 30. It's still up to 6 points for every correct response, and then up to -2 for every incorrect, depending on whether you interrupt or if you provide an incorrect response after the question's over. We'll do score checks every 10 questions or so, but you'll also be able to see your scores live on the scoreboard. If you notice anything, any math done incorrectly, just let us know. Parents can raise their hand. Students can just raise their hand, but try not to interrupt the questions once they've started. Any questions before we begin? No? All right. Then with that, we'll get started with the buzzer check. Right, red all looks good. Green. Good luck to all competitors. This is toss-up number 1. In 1698, in what is now this country, Scottish investors established the colony of Panama. That is correct for 6 points. Nice. Toss-up number 2. During a civil war, this person aided his ally, Lucius Cornelius Cinna, against Gnaeus Octavius as part of a faction that instigated purges. This person is credited with actions in the Cimbrian War. God's That is correct for 6 points. Toss-up 3. Richard Pankhurst argued that this object was the light in the sky that caused Zara Yacob to found Debre Berhan. This object was seen as a bad omen for the defenders of Belgrade, causing it to be excommunicated by Calixtus III. Mark Twain declared he came in with this. Halley's Comet? That is correct for 5 points. Toss-up 4. During the 1848 revolutions, the free cities of Menton and Roquebrune seceded from this country and later became Sardinian protectorates. In 1911, a constitution in this country transformed it into a constitutional monarch during the reign of Prince Albert I. Monaco? That is correct for 5 points. Toss-up 5. This woman wrote A New Conscience and an Ancient Evil, which inspired Louis Weber's 1916 film Shoes. This author of My Friend Julia Lothrow helped found the Juvenile Protective Association in Chicago, which worked alongside America's first juvenile court. This woman was inspired by Toynbee Law. That is correct for 5 points. Toss-up 6. Secretary of State Cyrus Vance's efforts helped lay the groundwork for this agreement in the mid-1970s. In November of 1977,
David Accord?
That is correct for 6 points. Toss-up 7. A bishop born in what is now this country published the 1543 ABC Curia. That Lutheran reformer was Mikhail Agricola, who oversaw the Diocese of Turku in this country.
Finland?
That is correct for 6 points. Toss-up 8. Native Americans from this tribe helped rescue passengers from the city of Columbus, and like the Nipmuc, they were one of the tribes listed in the Earl and Briggs reports. Peter Folger taught Joel Piacums alongside a member of this tribe, who became the first Native American to graduate from Harvard University. Metacom was a chief of this tribe.
Is this the US?
Answer, please. Time. Repeat that. That is correct. Yes. For 5 points. Right. Toss-up number 9. This man briefly came out of retirement to end a Bulgar advance on Constantinople at the Battle of Melantius.
Dandolo?
That's incorrect. And contrary to popular legend, this man was not made a blind beggar in Rome. Earlier during his military career, this general won the Battle of Agdecima, leading to the
Belisarius?
That is correct. 5 points. Toss of 10, after which we'll do a score check. A French translation of a work written by this thinker was banned by the Spanish Inquisition, who was largely translated by Jose Alonso Ortiz. This tutor to Charles Townshend's stepson, Henry Scott, wrote a work that was used to support the Eden Agreement. This thinker, who wrote The Theory of Moral Sentiments, investigated mercantilism.
Adam Smith.
That is correct for 5 points.
Oh, okay. I've got Devon 6, Theo 4, Chengyu Ethan 11, Edwin 0, Jaden 5, Everest 8, Vishnu 10, Abe 0, and Adyan 6.
Pretty tight game. Still 20 questions to go. Toss up 11. William Lawrence Saunders replaced this man as chairman of the Naval Consulting Board, created after this man proposed it. Having modified Leavenworth's goldenrod to increase its latex output, this man operated a film studio called the Black Room.
Tom Tyson.
That is correct for 5 points. Okay, toss of 12. This ruler first came to power by overthrowing his nephew during the Jingnan campaign. During this emperor's reign, he launched an invasion against Vietnam, where he defeated the Ho dynasty, but was driven out by a rebellion led by Li Loi. During this emperor's reign, he launched the treasure raid.
The Golden Emperor.
That is correct for 5 points. Toss of 13. In this election year, a group of old Republicans supported a Georgian candidate who finished in 3rd place. Prior to this election year, William Crawford suffered a stroke, but maintained favor with the Virginia dynasty.
1824.
That is correct for 5 points. Toss of 14. This ruler's eldest son, Elac, died at a 454 skirmish in Pannonia at the Battle of Nidau. Jordan,
Attila.
that is correct for 6 points. Buzz. Toss of 15. During this revolt, in which Lord Dorchester was promised support from Joseph Brant's Mohawk warriors, Eli Parsons led a force at Chicopee, stationed across the river from Luke Day. William Shepard worked with Benjamin Lincoln to put down this revolt, which the federal government struggled to handle due to limitations in the Articles of Confederation.
Rebellion.
Incorrect?
The Shades Rebellion.
That is correct. Yes. Yeah, that's 5 points. That's toss of 16. According to Pausanias, this man founded the kingdom of Epira and instituted the Isthmian Games, following the death of his nephew Melicertes. This man tricked Persephone by instructing that's incorrect. By instructing his wife, the Pleiad Merope, to not put coins in his mouth or give him a proper burial. This man is given his most famous punishment after he cheats death by Sisyphus. That is correct for 5 points. Toss of 17. This man defeated Alan Keyes in a 2004 Senate election, despite Keyes not being a state resident. When commenting on Senate obstructionism, this president remarked, "I've got a pen and I've got a bone." This man,
Obama.
that is correct for 6 points. Toss of 18. This monarch emerged victorious over Aymer de Valence, the Earl of Pembroke, at the Battle of Loudon Hill, which reversed the outcome of the Battle of Methven. This monarch's murder of John Comyn III of Badenoch at Greyfriars Church led Pope Clement V to excommunicate him.
Henry IV.
Incorrect. The Treaty of Edinburgh-Northampton recognized this king as ruler of Scotland.
Is this Robert the Bruce?
That is correct for 4 points. Okay, toss of 19. This person is the namesake of the Central Business District General Neighborhood Renewal Plan in Oklahoma City. Following events at Tiananmen Square, this person wrote...
Is this Deng Xiaoping?
Incorrect. Wrote, China won't ever be the same. In one project by this person, the Murray House was dismantled and later moved to Stanley to make room for the Bank of China Tower in Hong Kong. For the points, name this Chinese-American architect.
I.M. Pei.
That is correct for 4 points. 2020. During one conflict, this man's government signed the unratified McLean-Ocampo Treaty, which would have granted the United States rights across the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. This president led the Liberals in the Reform War after conservative opposition to the Constitution of 1857. Victory in that war triggered a French intervention against.
Benito Juarez.
That is correct for 5 points.
Score check. You're 20. Got Deb on 12, Theo 11, Chenyu Ethan 22, Edwin 0, Jaden 13, Everest 11, Vishnu 19, Abe -2, and Adyan 6.
Also 21. Wallonian members of this religious group were led by Jesse de Forest when they fled to New Netherland. Johannes de Peister Sr. came from a family of this. That's incorrect. In this religious group, which included the leader of Fort Caroline, Jean Ribaud, members of this religious group.
Huguenots.
That is correct for 5 points. Also 22. This empire suffered a war of succession in the Great Troubles and fought the Grand Duchy of Lithuania.
The Russian Empire.
That's incorrect.
Oh, the Tsar Empire.
That's incorrect as well.
Sodom and Muscovy.
That's also incorrect. Let's give all of them. We're looking here for the Golden Horde.
Oh, and
2023, yeah, of course, yeah. 2023. This scientist wrote the book How to Live Longer and Feel Better, which offered advice based on a lack of L-lactone oxidase in humans. Alongside Robert B. Corey and H.R. Branson.
Rosalind Franklin.
It's incorrect. This scientist discovered the alpha helix and the beta sheet. This scientist, who developed the concept of orbital hybridization, is the namesake of the scale for electronegativity. Further points named this person who advocated for taking mega doses of vitamin C, the only person holding. That is correct. 1 point. That's a 24. This leader, who is honored with the title Qaid-e-Azam, was trained as a barrister at Lincoln's Inn in England. He's not Woodrow Wilson, but in response to the Nehru report, this man drafted his own 14 points.
Ho Chi Minh.
It's incorrect. In 1940, this man's Muslim League passed the.
Muhammad Ali.
That is correct for 5 points. 25. Soldiers involved in this event, which names a V. Brown book, were granted 19 Medals of Honor, though Kai Kahele, Jeff Merkley, and Elizabeth Warren introduced a bill to revoke them. Occurring under the supervision of James Morse.
Is this the Boudini Massacre?
That is correct for 6 points. That's 26. A nationalist renaissance in this country was spurred by Naum Vechilargi's attempts to create a standard alphabet and the collapse of the League of Prizren. Fan Noli briefly served as the prime minister of this country after he overthrew King Zog.
Oh, Albania.
That's correct for 5 points. So 27. Lawrence Walsh was appointed independent counsel to investigate this event. Before being tried for this event, former Secretary of Defense Caspar Weinberger was pardoned by George H.W. Bush. The Tower Commission was established to investigate this scandal.
Watergate?
Incorrect. After which Claude Hall shredded documents to protect Oliver North.
Iran-Contra scandal.
That is correct for 5 points. That's a 28. This politician ordered the creation of the Royal Commission on Chinese Immigration, which was followed by the institution of the Chinese Immigration Act of 1885 and the Chinese head tax. This promoter of an economic program called the National Policy resigned as prime minister before Alexander Mackenzie's Liberal government took power in the wake of the Pacific Scandal.
Is this John McDonald?
That is correct for 5 points. Okay. Score check on the last 2 questions.
Sounds great. Got Deb on 15, Theo 25, Chinyu equal 22, Edwin 0, Jaden 13, Everest 5, Vishnu 22, Abe -4, and Adyan 15. So any of these games.
Okay, toss up 29. In 1079, one ruler of this country was exiled for murdering a Catholic bishop. In the 12th century, another leader of this country divided it into 5 principalities, including Masovia and Sandomires. The only king of this country given the epithet the Great. Answer, please. That's incorrect. Was its 14th century leader, Casimir III.
Poland?
That is correct. So it's 5 points. And toss up 30. Friedrich Adolf Riedesel and William Phillips are included in a painting depicting the surrender of the losing general of this battle. Schuylerville was the site of this battle, at which Simon Fraser was killed in action.
Saratoga?
That is correct. Great. Between Big, 15 points, and Adyan has 15 points. So I'm going to read a tiebreaker question just to the two of you. And then everyone else, please don't touch the buzzer. Okay? Ready? Tiebreak question. During this monarch's reign, the UK fought France in the North American theater of the War of the Spanish Succession. During this monarch's reign, the Act of Settlement 1701 was passed to ensure that her successor would not be Catholic, passing the succession to Sophia of Hanover and her son George I.
Elizabeth I?
That's incorrect, sorry. For the points, name this last monarch of the Stuart dynasty who was queen during the passage of the Act of Union, which politically merged England and Scotland.
Okay.
That's correct, yes. You're always second, but that's good. Go, let's go. Please, we've got Jaden. Hey, in 5th place, we've got Viv. In 4th place, we've got Adyan. We've got Ethan. Place, we've got Theo. Big division for the National History Bee, we've got. Okay.